Uh-huh.
All right, let's see if we can do that again. Ready?
You're so goofy.
Do it again. Ready? Take two.
Take two.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and this is Rico, and we're doing an application for Philippine Airlines. Wow, that white claw really did kick in.
It's such a goofball. Here.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. Well, maybe not the wealth part, but my taste. Oh, what a chase. Met a girl from the Midwest. She thought I was from a movie. I'm George from the Philippines, and she's my Heidi, my sweet bubbly baby's hugger of all times. I was up, cause every live stream is a original, and all the sinners are saints, just a couple of live streamers painting our digital face like a digital devil with a microphone, a camera, and a smile. Come and watch us on YouTube, stay with us for a while. But what's puzzling you is the nature of our game. We build a world of our own, from states to the Philippines, through fiber optic cables and 1,000 digital gates. We talk about our days, the good, the bad, the funny, sharing our life with the world, trading stories for some money. Cause every live stream is original, and all the sinners are saints, just a couple of live streamers painting our digital face like a digital devil with a microphone, a camera, and a smile. Come and watch us on YouTube, stay with us for a while. But what's puzzling you is the nature of our game. Some say we sold our souls to the algorithm's whims, but we're just telling our story, playing life on all our limbs. Heidi with her American charm, me with my Filipino wit. We're just a couple of weirdos making sure our lives fit.
Can you guys hear me? Go down the line here. Still can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. All I did was unplug it and replug it. The cats get up here a couple times. All right, guys. So I restarted the I restarted everything. So, all right, guys, let's try this again. But you guys could hear the music, correct? Initially. So, yeah, it was just the microphone that was down. All right, guys. All right. So, good morning. Good morning. Good to be back. I was talking about the cats, that Pigsy's doing better. And there's my black son and my orange son over there. And I was saying that today we're going to cover is being an asshole a crime in the Philippines. It depends on who you know. And it depends on how far the Filipino wants to take the complaint or whether the government is going to do anything. There is a brother of Rafi Tulfo. He has covered an American that's parking his car when there's tons of parking. He's specifically parking it in front of a Filipina's house. And I'll get into that here in a little bit. Well, there initially was music. It should have played without the mic. So anyways, also I have left a message with Ivy. I got a call from immigration this morning. Interesting. So I was like, dun, dun, dun. Maybe George turned me in for being an asshole. But they're contacting me on Conan White. Remember the British guy that ran to, what was it, the Sun newspaper, or whatever that newspaper was, and he said how bad it was. And he was making a complaint against his Filipina, saying all these things when it wasn't the truth. And we covered him several times. He came on and then thought he would argue with me, and I pretty much got all over him. They called me today. And they was like, Conan White. So basically, he is still giving an address in Cebu, which is not where he is, and they're hunting him. So I contacted Ivy, which is his ex, and said they'll be contacting her. So very interesting. So I was like, wow, I thought that case was totally dead. I thought they were just going to let him live here. Matter of fact, I thought he was dead. So that kind of died down. He stopped talking about us and then went into hiding where he was at. But they have his videos and they have our information. So they asked me, did we formally go in and fill out full papers? And I said, no, we didn't. Why? I said that would be for his ex-fiance that he lived with for years and all of that. And so that's where that went this morning. So, and that's about it. Nothing new on the home front here. Man, how did you guys get the cat food everywhere? There's cat food all over the kitchen. I don't know why they do that. So, yeah, the music will come through. Hey, Harry, the music will come through because it just runs through the live stream itself. But the mic, the cats jump on the corner of this all the time. And with the cords plugged into this little computer we have, I think they kick it. And sometimes when you restart this streaming software, sometimes it doesn't attach everything and gets shut on and off. And so that is good. So I'll give a little bit of time for the room to build up and then get into our story. But basically, in a nutshell, they live in Occidental Mindoro. And they tried to go through the barangay on this American guy. And basically, they said that he's not breaking the law. But the Filipina and this Rafi's brother insist that he is. And basically, he's an asshole. And they want him to go because he's an asshole. And I don't know the full story. All I know is that she says I just got when there'll be a part 2, which I guess we just got an exclusive that they're going to do another part today. I don't know if that's released or if that's where they're going to go in and do a part 2. So quite interesting. No lip readers needed. Sit down, second wind. And thank you for everybody's well wishes for George having 2 people that passed away within about it's about a week and a half of each other. And my lupus is extremely set in. And thank you for everybody questioning like what's going on. Are you sure you're not diabetic? Are you sure there's not other major issues? And I said the lupus is bad enough. But I'll let you know that I self-diagnosed that I'm definitely autistic. So besides my ADHD, I self-diagnosed myself while I laid in bed for a few days that I am autistic. So, oh, bam, there it is. Oh. And yes, George did beat up this cat. Them are cast on his arms. So, thank you, WebMD. Now I know I'm double special. Kind of like Pigsy here with the short tail and the weird ears. Pigsy, Pigsy, Pigsy. Very interesting. You all knew that. But here's the thing. I did have to go back on the steroids. That's just an impossible. I went to the doctor's yesterday, and I had called George because he wasn't here, which he never answers. But the doctor said, in a nutshell, totally not having any of the steroids was just too much. There's no way. I will have to have the small dose probably for the rest of my life because I could not walk. I'm now just able to basically walk again. It was so bad. My joints, my back was breaking into, lower back felt like labor pains. It was super bad. And it wasn't even the withdrawals anymore, just the pain. Even my toes felt broken. And so instead of being on it several times a day in higher doses, he's got me on a smaller dose once a day. So I am recovering, but it's a hot mess. I'm now just moving again. So it was bad. But thank you, everybody. Iasis talking about a lot of these dirtbag guys went around like Mark Thornton barebacking young penis. Yeah, hence the baby, huh? Oh, you're talking about the photo. I changed it to my lineup photo. I figured that'd be better about an American. George, and that blue Hawaiian shirt makes you look different. Yeah, because initially I had an expat that was sweating to death at an airport. And then I decided, being I'm talking about an American, that I thought I would put me in there. Hey, good morning. Luke is in the house. Yeah, if you want to catch something and end up with a kid, which I think you guys just get a shot of penicillin and leave the kids, then I guess nobody's really worried about that. They might even try to convince you. I have seen so much like beings I've been down for the count. I just seen another vlogger that he goes from club to club, beach to beach, and these Filipinas are just throwing themselves. The guy's like 30. And literally 2 and 3 different girls kissed him on the dance floor. And I'm like, I don't even want to kiss George. And I'm married to him. Who wants to French kiss somebody on the dance floor? They weren't even his people. And these Filipinas were just throwing themselves at him. I was like, ugh, no thank you, guys. Hey, I ain't kissing nobody in the club. Hey, good morning. But hey, MB. Good morning, Victoria. I don't even want to kiss George. No, that's not Scott, unless they came in after the fact. That's somebody else. I thought it was her, but that's not her account. So that's just somebody with a different name. It appears to be a gentleman. Victoria saying hi. Victoria, sunny morning here in Perth, though only for a while. It's getting ready to rain again. Speaking of that, I was talking to Sarah that also my latest, I was on a crime kick where I was watching all the crime shows. I'm over that. I know how to do all that. I don't need no help on that. And so now I'm on to how to get through airports in Australia, which I guess I can't. And so in the Australia, I think it's called border security, most of them being busted are Asians. It's hilarious. It's nothing but Asians, and all of them want to try to bring in birds' nest and food and fruits and apples and lizards, and they're hiding stuff. And then they already know, oh, Asia, it's heroin. And then if they come from Africa or any of the South American countries, they always know it's cocaine, and it's just hilarious. And then it's sad how they have the older people like bring in the stuff. And it's sad because some of them, like one woman, it was the grandkid, like it was the grandson that had his own grandmother trafficking. I was like, what the hell is wrong with these people? And no, it's crazy. So I'm wondering why the Philippines doesn't do this type of thing. I don't know why the Philippines doesn't vet every single person that comes in. So have no idea why they don't go to that extent, because even down to the visas, if you're coming on a tourist visa, they question them on exactly what they're going to do. And evidently they don't do that with these people, because there are expats that have renewed their visas over and over and over again. They'll stay here for 3 years. They go out and go to another country. If you do that in Australia, they sit you down in a room and talk to you for a while. They want to know why you're coming back in on another tourist visa, but they don't do that here. It's because they're desperate. Absolutely desperate. There's no questions on their forms about crime. There's no questions. It's just nothing on there. I think they ask how much money you're bringing in, but I don't get why they don't vet people. So all my vetting came when I got my 13A. I just don't know, but it's crazy. It's a crazy show. Hey, Jan Stretch, good morning. Harry is in the house. Like a spa, got Halloween coming. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Hey, black boy. Hey, you want to say hi? Want to come see? Come here. Want to come here? Here, come here. If I had some donut, you would be over here. Come here. If I rattle a bag, I bet you come. Come here. Come here. I'll let you bite me. Weirdo. Hi, Sarah. And there's the no mic, no sound. Yeah, now I got to edit that, which means, hey, Michael, good morning. It just means I'm going to have to edit all of that out of there, which it'll kill the replay on this. Heidi's live. It looks like it is. Hey, glad to see you up and running. Probably not running, but able to move. It was bad. First couple of days of withdrawals on the steroids was bad. And then when everything melted away, it felt like every bone in my body was broken. Thank you, Victoria. The second one, I said, sit down. Hell, I'm still laying in bed, right? Reach over and touch your lady. Inappropriately or whatever. Say, gee, you look beautiful. Very artistic Heidi is, I say, right? I wondered all these years. Everything they said was me. Everything down to sound and everything. It's already on my paperwork. I'm not worried about it. I just don't go around and say, hey, I'm autistic. So, but I also think George has a level of autism. I'm telling you, he's got he doesn't have the sensory thing, but he does, because he can sleep through everything and nothing bothers him, but he does go through where he'll question a lot of things and he goes into details. And so, does YouTube pay content creators by demographics? The answer is yes. That's a lie. That's a lie, W. I don't have anything against Mike's Philippine retirement. He does his content. He already said that he's pretty much copies what Old Dog does. He went through and used the same playbook, just like the Filipina P. Okay, and same playbooks, exact same playbooks. And he does put a lot of time into it. But I am very much doubting that he makes that kind of money. I bet my life on it. He can, I say, prove it, bring the receipts, because I just ran into another channel with 3 times his numbers, and they don't make that money. I took a screenshot and everything, and there's no way. He said 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, and 1,000 would be a lot of money right now. So unless he's getting a crap load of stickers and all of his demographics are from the United States, demographic plays into it. And the longer you're in the Philippines, unfortunately, you're going to pull those people. You're in that area, it's like a magnet. And so people just don't naturally do that. Now, if he's running advertisement through YouTube and he asks YouTube specifically, and you have to type that in, United States, then he can bring some of those numbers in. But then that means he's paying for numbers. So that's a lot of money. We've been very clear that the max we've ever made on a very good month, and that was when we were doing the E-Trike thing, was like 500 US dollars, not pesos. This month we were at 150 US. Our numbers have dropped. We usually have around 300 or 15 to 18,000 pesos. That number dropped in half. And so I get that we've slowed down, but everybody's complaining about the money. So if we're making 300 and then I look at his numbers and his views and everything, I don't see how he would make minimally 4 times the money that we are. I get the numbers, but 1,000 is still high. And so 4,000, I'd like to see that check. So he would have to be getting all Americans. And I don't know. If he would show me his account, then I would believe it. So, of course, he'll probably have a statement and everything. And I get he's having issues with trolls and all that, which I would ignore that if I was him. And I'm not going to do a whole show based on that because it looks like others have covered him, multi-channels. But I don't know about filing a case against somebody that's just talking. So anyways, I'd like to see the numbers. That is not normal. So usually YouTube Tops pays up to $20 per thousand. And that's if it's really good, high numbers all the time. But he slowed down. His numbers, he's been slowing down. He's not quite doing a video every day like he used to. And he's not doing live stream all the time. So if he's got high memberships and hundreds of people, then maybe that's what we're not seeing. But 300's average for us. And I don't know, that would seem high for that size of a channel. And 55,000 subscribers doesn't mean anything. Only 10%, 5 to 10% watch now out of that number, 5 to 10%. That would be almost impossible, but he'll claim different. I'm sure he'll clap back. Hey, what's going on, buttermilk biscuits? We did it all for the nookie. George did it all for the cookie this morning. Hey, he said cookie, 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 nookie. Our airports, hell yeah, they are, man. Which, I mean, I don't blame them. I just don't know why the Philippines doesn't do a fraction. Not even a fraction. A lot of people are like, oh, well, they definitely ask your criminal when you come in. No, they don't. They don't ask nothing. When I came in a couple years ago, when people just come in recently, all that isn't asked. They don't ask anything. They give everybody just about that 30-day visa, and they don't even try to redirect them like you should be on a retirement visa. They go in and out of the country for 10, 15 years, and they don't redirect that they belong on a retirement visa. They don't redirect that they've been married, and they should get that marriage visa. But Australia, no. They will make you get the appropriate visa, and but I think it's just desperation. I think they need the money, and the people need to make the money off of the tourism. And on the other hand, that might slow down the trafficking and the abuse of the Filipinas and Filipinos and everything else that goes on, because I don't know. Cats eat donuts. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. The kittens do. The older ones don't. They, declare everything. And don't tick no on that card. Yeah, because they get fined several $100s for every time that they don't. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, border security. It's a good show. All right, guys, let me get into it. Yeah, everything's dropped on numbers. We usually have, on average, 80 or 90 people. It's dropped down to 50, no matter what live we've done in the last month. Everything's cutting in half on YouTube. It's pay to play. It's an overflood of people, and I don't feel bad anymore. I really don't. I used to be like, oh my God, we're losing this, and that. And George's like, nope, this is about them asking people to pay, and this is all about AI coming through and different things. And yeah, so everybody's numbers. The Filipina P had discussed this recently. She had a good video out on it. There was another older woman I believe she was from Michigan. She's got a decent channel. She can get 18, 19,000 views, and her last check was $180 herself. And she goes, it's just enough to do basics. And she goes, I don't know why. The pay's dropping in half and everything. So there's a lot of YouTubers complaining. That's when he said that and said the 4,000, 3,000, 1,000. I was like, I'd like to see the 1,000 even at your numbers. So it just doesn't seem likely, being he's been here for years, but he could be running advertisement. Because if you see a number like 55,000, then that means he should be getting around 6,000, 7,000, maybe 10,000 views tops. Sometimes he gets half his numbers all the time, or 18,000, or the numbers are high. So he's either advertising or doing something else. So, all right, let's get into these.
I like you to listen carefully.
Let's get into the story. I bet y'all didn't know that Rafi Tulfo had a flaming Cheeto brother named Ben. He calls himself BAC or B something. Let me see. Like a flaming Cheeto, because he's really, really out there. But anyways, this show, I put the link in the description so you guys can go watch the full video, because I didn't record it all. I'll show you shots of what's going on. So, is it a crime? Is it a crime? Is it a crime for being an asshole in the Philippines as an American? No, not really. But you also don't have to be an asshole. And this guy's being an asshole. The guy's name is Greg Weezer, not him. This is Rafi's brother. He has his own show. But Greg Weezer is an American, older man. If I had to guess, the guy's probably late 60s, or could just be a 40-year-old that aged really bad. And, oh, well, let me let you watch this first. And then I'll talk through the other photos.
And the eye. Read my
There he
lips. Stop doing this foolishness in my country. If not, I'm going to kick you out. I promise you. We're going to do the best that we can to kick you out as undesirable. This is a warning. Do not mess with us.
Now, I do want to let you know that I found that offensive and not offensive at the same time. And the reason being is I've heard that a couple times from Filipinos. I've heard it from the expats here. And they're going to threaten all the time. Okay, you're going to get threats from especially you guys dating. These girls are going to threaten all the time. I'm going to have you thrown out of the Philippines. I don't like you, you blah, blah, blah. And then some of them, they're just threats, right? And he technically doesn't have a leg to stand on, even as the only reason they're going to get him out is because Rafi's brother is involved. Because they already tried to take this to the barangay. Here's the Filipina here, and I did talk to her today. She said there's a part 2 to this. This came out a couple days ago, and we were waiting to see if there's an update on it. We were waiting to hear from her, which we have. And she said that basically the American lives on the other side of the street in the corner, and he parks his car way up the road directly in front of a fruit stand that's in a public street. Okay, so there are like a couple fruit stands, and there's plenty of room. So here's the thing. If people come to her area to buy, they can park anywhere else. There is plenty of parking over there. But according to her, it's taking away her business because he's parked directly in front of it. And I muted it for copyright reasons. But basically, in a nutshell, she is discussing that he has multi-offenses and complaints against him. I don't know what they are. It's what they are saying. They're saying that he's been reported to immigration several times probably for being an asshole, because he, in front of his house, has the ability to park. Here you go. There's a whole section for this dude. All of this street is empty for him to park in front of, and he's got the ability to park inside. He's got the space. Even we have the space to park inside of our little section. But he doesn't park there. And the fruit stand is, what do you call that? Like adjacent. There's a street going like this way. And you'll see here in a minute, there's plenty of space where it's not stopping her business. I'm trying to figure what's going on. Is there something else? Yeah, but second wind parking generally sucks, but there's plenty of space for him to park and her. But here's the thing. There is no law. The barangay has already told even this show, dude, that he's not breaking the law. What do you want me to do? Then immigration comes in talking about, well, if you're going to be nasty about it, this American, he's got to understand that you can't mess with Filipinas. And I'm like, here we go again. You know what I mean? And they go into the full thing of, well, then he's going to be considered an undesirable. We'll just have to get rid of him. And I'm like, what did the asshole do? He's just being an asshole. Being an asshole, if you keep your hands to yourself, or being, arrogant, is not a crime. It might get you wiped out. It might have somebody's boyfriend come beat your ass. But I'm not aware that you say, Your Honor, I like him to leave because he's an asshole. It's possible. It's the Philippines. Understand that. And I have my own story because this happens somewhat to us. Okay, so here he is. He parks up the road in front of her stand. I don't know why. I mean, I get why she's upset. And this is nothing against the Filipina, and Americans can be assholes. I get that part of it. So basically, she's just going on that, hey, he's interrupting my business. And I already had this translated. She repeats the same thing about her businesses being affected. He has all that room, and he is not parking anywhere else. Come on. Let's see, I got more shots here. But the barangay, he's telling her here that, hey, what's the deal? So this is her stand. She says she's losing money. But all around this, there's tons of other parking. What the Filipinos can't do is ride up on their motorcycle and roll away. Have you guys seen that, like on MacArthur Highway here in Angel City or somewhere else on the side of the road? They'll ride up on their motorcycle. They don't even get off their motorcycle to pick up barbecue or whatever. They're just chilling, man. And they're like on island time. So I could see where that interrupts it. But just because you upset a Filipina, is it breaking the law? Immigration says there is other complaints. About what? Is he being an asshole? Is this breaking the law? So that's what I want to hear from you guys today, is the full discussion is, here's another thing, and I'm sure she might be listening. I didn't drop her the link because she said there was a part 2, but she might have found it. I would hope, as I had already discussed with other people about this already, and the comments are crazy. They're off the chain, man. Especially coming from Filipinas, their suggestions is to beat them up and then deport them. I'm like, God damn, it's kind of rough. But I hope she has all of her papers in order. She's now went to a talk show, kind of like that Armstrong family. How they went reporting each other. And my question would be, at this point, I would hope that she made sure she's licensed, paying taxes, has permits to be on the side of a public road selling. I'm assuming she does. But there he is. There's somebody else that's got a tent. This is on a public road. And there is other spaces. It's totally empty, by the way. All right, so let me get my glasses, because this is some of the comments that came from his channel, guys. So it says, don't know how these people make it. The Philippines is a nice country. It seems like it's a Filipino, of course, that wrote this. The Philippines are a nice country for everybody. But those foreigners who think, because they think they are foreigners in the Philippines government, they should be drag them to the plane and beat them up and drag them onto the plane. Who cares who they are? and which of course it's an American. Somebody else made the comment that this is just one of those many incidences. Mr. Tufolo, which again, this is his brother that did this show, is the only one that is not respected by foreigners, especially if they are from Europe or other countries, of the white race. By the way, white race was mentioned over and over again, that if you're white, it seems to be that we have more privileges. Believe me, we don't. But they say we do. The reasons the Philippines is nothing but a poor and miserable. The Philippines and the police are very kind to the white people and then to the Filipinos. The Filipinos are very rude. The whites know that the major exports of the Philippines are not electronics, it's the OFWs. And then they give a list of things. And then somebody else says, that's easy, just wipe the car with, they're telling him to wipe his car with the strip oil. They're telling her to destroy the car. There was tons of these comments. They're saying to go ahead and destroy his car. And so I was like, crazy. There was a lot of those comments. They're telling her to do it. And I'm like, honestly, I'm surprised something hasn't happened. And there,
I'd like you to listen carefully, Greg Weiser. Look me in the eye. Read my lips. Stop doing this foolishness in my country. If not, I'm going to kick you out. I promise you. We're going to do the best that we can.
In my country. And when I first got here, I heard that a lot. My country. And I told George when I first got here, the Filipinos are the nicest people on earth, but then you have the other sections where they feel they rule everybody. And unfortunately, when I hear that, there's something that cringes in me. Okay, where it goes into, but then again, that's just me. Like I said, is it a crime to be an asshole? Is this Filipina doing everything she's supposed to? Is it a crime that he parks his car? I mean, did he purchase that house? I don't know. If he's the owner of that house and the streets are free to park on, then he is free to do it anywhere. He's an asshole for parking in front of her stand, which could slow down business. I wouldn't say it's the reason nobody stops to buy fruit from her, considering if you look at the whole view, there's parking in front of him, behind him, and 30 cars long, and there's no cars there. So I just think this is a personal thing against each other, but there are other complaints against him. But this guy here makes it clear he's going to do everything he can. But the brown guy was like, listen, there's nothing wrong. He hasn't done anything. Now, I do want to let you guys know, let me take this down. I do want to let you guys know that you guys have known about us being in our subdivision. It's a so-so subdivision. People will say it's a rat hole. It's still our rat hole. There are upper class people. There's a huge barangay official. As a matter of fact, I just seen his housekeeper today dumping trash in that lot again. They don't pay, looks like, for trash. She dumps it every morning into that pile, and it's not his land. But evidently the owner knows about it and they're okay with that. But if I go over there and do that, trust and believe somebody's going to report me. Trust and believe I've thought about it. We went almost a month without a trash man. And it was getting pretty desperate. And I still did not go across a lot because I said, the moment I do it, someone's going to report me and talk about I got to go. And of course, that I guess would be breaking the law. I'm dumping trash, right? Well, what we have is a market that comes here every week. And there's hundreds of people that come from all over. And me and George have been in this market. I would like to, if I'm feeling better, go on Thursday and get some footage for you guys. But the deal is they park in front of our house. They park across the street. They take up all the parking. So when George comes back from visiting his family, there's nowhere to park, literally nowhere to park. But we don't do nothing about it. We don't, get into a fight with them. We don't go reporting them. George doesn't. We just pretty much, George says there's nothing we can do. And we just kind of move on with it. But it looks like this Filipina wants something done because this market is crazy. It blocks, you can't have any deliveries. It blocks the whole neighborhood 1 day, 2 days a week. And it's just part of life. But it does seem like that the Filipinas and expats are both getting like squirrelier and squirrelier by the day. So But let me know. That is the discussion that'll go on for a little bit is, you know, I'll be curious what's going to come out on the part 2 for this. Again, the link is in the bio. So we shall see. Cat's eating donuts, right? Oh, Victoria was talking about declare everything and don't tick off the box. Yeah. Yeah, it says I have 60 viewers. Yeah, now I'm up to 77, which is almost normal, but being down to 50 is what we got 5 years ago. We used to get 40 and 50 and top out at 60 during a drama time. And everybody's numbers, I don't care whether they're admitting it or not, big channels, small channels, everybody's numbers are plummeting. If you're paying advertisement or you're lying to your people and you can prove it, then prove it. But there's been something screwed up for the last year. But during the last few months, starting probably July and August, the money just bottomed out. So then you're relying on memberships. Those drop out. People forget their credit cards or something off with them, and then it doesn't renew. They get new credit cards. Different things or reasons why the memberships start to drop away. And then if it wasn't for the memberships are half our money. And we appreciate when people are doing the memberships because it's what helps with the cats. And it just, it just shows support for the channel. And there are expenses. Right now, our money goes right back into the cats and right back into just paying for different things like this for the live stream. So speaking of which, there's the captions. There we go. Put those back in. But yeah. Yes, he's more hip than Rafi Tulfo, right? He's a little different. Yeah, he's like Telemundo. He's got more of the Rafi's real soft and he talks like he's running a Michael Jackson show and hi and and he jokes a lot, and this guy just getting to the point. Get out of my country, man. You can also tell it's all about the money for him too. So yeah, parking in general does suck here. It really does suck. But this is a guy being an asshole. This is just a real asshole. The fact that he knows it's bothering her. He's arguing with her. He knows there's nothing they can do. But here's my personal opinion. You also don't want to start a fire here also. Know the fires that you start, whether you're ready to add more gas or if you're ready to put that fire out, because pick and choose your battles here. Most definitely, because there's been so many of them that I've wanted to start since I've been here, and they're not going to always be Filipinos. The expats can be assholes here. I'm telling you, when they come here, they bring their issues. Those issues do not go away. There's this guy that was an extreme hoarder in the U.S., and it showed his place. Like, it was totally hoarded out, like beer boxes around, didn't clean the bathroom, piles of clothes. They came right over here and did the exact same thing, but had his Filipina cleaning it up. That was the crazy part. So it was crazy. 1 second here. Second win. Yeah. So the guy's same habits were just nasty. But the guy had his own issues back in the U.S. He was a returning military person. He went into starting his own business and he became sick and got injured. And once he stayed home, he was then on the pain pills, started drinking beer, just stopped caring, got depressed. His woman left him. He started sleeping and drinking all the time. And then he just went right into a hole. Now the guy came over here thinking he was going to start a new life, and he didn't. He just still kept on doing the same things. So just because, doesn't mean that your life changes because you leave, America or Canada or wherever you guys are coming from. Good morning, Raymond. What is going on? And guys, say hello and say where you guys are at this morning. I love to say hi to you guys. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, Good morning, good morning. Why doesn't she just talk to the other local guys to mess up his car? Right? That's what the one guy says. Like, dang, man, you got right to the point. And that's what I'm surprised. And guys, never underestimate a Filipina, man. Don't ever underestimate a Filipino. One, you guys thought George was quiet. Bullshit. George will slap the shit out of you, man. I'm telling you, I have seen the face of the devil. I'm telling you, I have seen the face of an angel in this house. But don't piss him off. It's like being bipolar, man. I mean, it is the truth. And if they're drunk enough, that's it. It's like being with a Colombian or something. You guys are cooked. So I don't understand why this old dude thinks he could screw with somebody. They've already tried to handle this, and he is not handling it very well. He is not handling it very well. I'm really surprised. Where'd my phone go? It's probably right. Oh, here it is, right in front of my face. I'm gonna see if the girl said anything. Her name is Ivy. I know she said there's a language barrier, but she says there is a part two. She said no. I asked her, has he quit parking over there as of right now? After the show and everything, he is still parking there. I'm going to ask her, has he given a reason why? Has he given a reason why? Yeah. So, yeah, there it is. Ivy Torres. Her middle name is Torres, but right now I'm in the cahoots with trying to find out a little bit more. So if you guys got a question, maybe I can throw it over to her. That really hurts. There's my boy. Ow. That hurt. I'm really surprised. Kid's been up since about 5 a.m., so now they're down, the cats. He has a carport. Yeah. And that whole street, this way and that way, that's the direction it looks, it's empty. So why? Why is this dude doing it? Because he can. And they said they've talked to him. And the barangay told this guy doing the show, Mr. Tulfo, he's like, we're done. There's nothing, you're asking us to do something when he's not breaking a law. They're not going to scrap it out with this old dude. He must be caught up with his immigration and he's not causing any other problems. There is no law against it. They can ask you, but it doesn't mean, I don't want nobody not liking me. I mean, some trolls, I don't give a fuck what they actually think of me. But besides that, I don't want my neighbors having a problem with me. So we, like George, sometimes will park the car. Like if you guys don't see the car when you're coming over here for a goddamn barbecue, or you're driving by to say hi, that's because we park the car in other areas. So it could be up the street, could be the next, especially when market days come through here. So, but we don't walk up to the people taking our spot when we see them return. The only time we have a problem is when they park up next to our gate. Like there's the road itself and there's a little bit of a ledge that comes in that is in front of our gate. Now they do try to block that. And we got an official sign and they stopped blocking it because we don't know when we want to take off with the trike or if he's going to put the car inside sometimes. But there's tons of space, but I don't know why he would want to piss off somebody though, because he can. You know, some people just bring that mentality. I mean, I guess, what, I don't know. Why do you guys think he's doing it? You know, why? I don't know. I have no idea why. You're okay, Raymond. I always keep a low profile as an expat. They take things very personal, and they do. Filipinos, 100%. I've read several things about it. I've experienced it myself. I live with a Filipino. I have been with one for 7 years. George's behavior is what I'm seeing from him here. Now I just thought George was unfortunately super unique, and he was very sensitive, and it's like, wow, what a great guy. And I've he was refreshing, and it was fun. It was fun while it lasted, and then you realize what the f is going on, and then you get slapped in the face situation, and it's sensitivity to the next level. So, and jealousy. And now George isn't jealous. He knows that we are both not cheater situation. And I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm 54 years old. I'm not exactly out there as a plus size 6 foot tall woman out there looking for someone. So there's a difference in all of that. But if we were in our 30s and I was like in that photo where you guys see me bone thin and I got dressed up, then he might have something to worry about. But George is, as I can see, not a jealous person, but he can be moody now. Ken versus Karen. Showdown at the Apollo. Being an asshole can get you in prison in every country. It's not hard to frame somebody, and that's what it is. It's not a crime being an asshole, but if you piss off the wrong people, you can be framed up for everything. Even in the US, they can they can frame you up. I'm telling you. They can lock you down. They can rope you off. That's the bottom. They gonna rope him off, man. Forget about the paint being stripped off his car. Yeah. Man, lucky he even got no sugar in that gas tank, and I mean, there's no tires. I'm dang on running down the road, and that thing towed away and thrown in the rip. I mean, it's not a crime being an asshole. Roped off in the Philippines. Next live stream. Good morning, Sperlin is in the house. George should talk to Tulfo and report them, right? I got some footage of the kids the other day because the camera records out front when it's activated, and it was sad. The kids, a group of them, about 8 of them, is over there in that pile of trash. They took a bag of trash and sat in the house next door, and they ate the trash. And one of them threw up, and I'm like, George says, don't you move, because I was going to take them snacks and stuff, and they just did it to do it. We know that they eat, but they just did it for, I don't know why, but one of them actually threw up afterwards, and the other kids were laughing at him. They did it because they were bored. It could be they were hungry, and but they were doing that, and that was caught on camera. But them are the same kids that stomp on the cars, that stomp on other people's vehicles when they have the market day, and tearing up the trash cans. And if we do give them a snack, then they come back every day, 2 and 3 times a day, and ask for money. That's why George says, don't move. I was like, dang it, George. The USA, they locked up January 6 people for nothing. Well, they let them go, too. You can be locked up anywhere, any place, anytime, anyhow, anywho these days for anything. I bet if all the cars late on loan payments were taken off the road, there would be no traffic. Yeah. Well, I just think it's weird what they will enforce. So this guy's talking about, don't you mess up in my country. We're going to throw you out. Why are you doing this to her? And I'm like, dude, there's 100 places to park. It's not killing her business. If her business is dead, it's because it was already dead. Just because a Filipino doesn't want to get off his motorcycle and he wants to roll up to the stand. Have you guys seen those guys that are leaning on their bikes looking to buy something? And it's like, oh, okay, let me get this. All right, I just want to buy this Pop-Tart. And he's leaning on his bike and stuff. Here you go. Here's your pesos. And then they just they're taking off down the road and shit. I'm like, what's up with that? They do that with the barbecue and everything, and they'll practically run you over. You got this traffic, like two-way traffic of people walking, and then all of a sudden somebody's motorcycle almost run you over to get barbecue. And it's like, whoa, dude. And you just have to get used to it. You get used to the people ditching in line. Like you'll be sitting there 20 minutes in line and they'll just go right up in front of you. They won't look back at you. They don't care who's in line. Even if it's 10 old people in line, they'll just go right to the front of the line. It's a very passive thing. It's kind of crazy. But they don't enforce certain things is what I was getting at. It's they one day they do and the next day they don't. And maybe the guy's tired. If he's that tired and that angry with things, then expect some sort of consequences, whether this guy enforces somebody in immigration. The immigration woman says they're going to get rid of him. That's the way she was carrying on. And I'm like, oh, okay. And you never know. You never know here in the Philippines. That I'll get to it when I get to it. It's a very, very beautiful out here in Lapita. It's a beautiful morning. I hoard my Monster Energy drinks. My daughter's boyfriend said I look like a 7-Eleven, right? Right? Yeah, that guy was a horrible hoarder in the U.S. And I have some clips, and I don't know if I'm going to put it together because there's so many other things I want to cover in live streams. But basically, if you're one way in the U.S., you're just bringing it over here, like my anxiety. When there's a lot of noise and crowds and all that, I freak out. And so it's, in the Philippines is really bad. I did not know. I mean, I knew Asia was packed, but I didn't know it was this packed. So the behavior is here. And I'm going to admit it. I'm going to say, hey, there's things going on here that are just like, ooh, 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 but the hoarding doesn't change. Fast forward 5 years from today's date. Where is Heidi and George and what are they doing, right? Yep, been 5 years. Let's see another 5 years. Let me see. I don't think so. Philippine, antics. Oh, AN. Yep, you're right. I looked at that a few times and it looked weird. Thank you. Yeah, that's one other. Thank you for pointing out my other issues. Dyslexia. Dyslexic. Did I say dyslexia? George's dick is going digs in different direction. That and George knows. I could probably get somebody here. Antics, ANTIC. There we go. You got the point. You know where to send that email. Get out of here. Yeah. There we go. Let's see if that changes it. Just kidding. Thank you, though. I looked at it and I looked at it and looked at it and looked at it. I said, something's not right there. Or I like it when George tells me something 10 times. Is that like with your wives and you could tell your girlfriend or wife something over and over again and then a friend or a stranger says, if you eat too many oranges that this can happen to you. And she's like, oh, really? I'm like, bitch, I told you that about 50 times. They always want to listen to a stranger. That's what George tells me all the time. He goes, you listen to strangers. Dyslexia. I was wondering if he was skin tax, possibly Oh, snap. There you go. Yeah. Did I ever tell you about the time I dropped sugar in a guy's gas tank? This isn't like admitting that you off somebody. Like, I guess some guy admitted in front of a news, whatever, that he had offed a family member or something recently, and they arrested him after the fact. God, this had to happen 20-something years ago. I was really young. The guy parked in my parking place, and a lot of stuff happened to me, and I just dropped some sugar in his gas tank. Bitch. So, yeah, I'm surprised. But skin tax, maybe there. I was wondering if there was something else. I just can't see it randomly because I didn't hear anything in the interview. I mean, I had it translated. Um, thank God for AI. Went through. She only repeated the same thing. She repeated that he just keeps parking over there, and there was nothing new. I mean, yeah, I already asked her what's the reason. I mean, there has to be something we're missing. Maybe he's just an asshole. So, hello, I am in Chowong. Oh, the T is gotcha. Chowong. Hey, Luke, what is going on? Yeah, it's so sad for him, and he is spending a lot of time there. And um, he has already been spending time with the family, and then since this has happened, he's been spending a lot of time with his uncle. So I definitely will. Um, I am hoping to do a live stream with him here in a few days. And we'll do it out and about. We'll go to a restaurant or something and do another live. So people like the out and abouts. And I'm still trying to convince him to do the walkabouts. He had one where he was driving and he started to, but he just hasn't edited. It's just not in him right now. Right now he's really going through it. And honestly, I think it's a depression thing that is going along with it, which is quite normal. So I'm not going to push him. He was already not a social media person. And we did it initially and had a lot of fun. And now it just slowed down for him and me. I just like to communicate with people. I like to wreak havoc and let people see, I know they want to see how pogy I am and everything. And because they in love, I like to feed the trolls. But I will. Thank you so much, Harry. It says, yeah, I got it. Well, usually he'll do some of the thumbnails. I do them. And when we set these up, like usually we have a permanent thing like this, but we just added our email again. So if people want to send us stories, and we already receive a lot of emails that I go through and he goes through. And by the way, we read every single comment. There is me that goes through them and George, and then we have one other person. And then, of course, our moderators have the option to go through them too. But we do see them. So we're the ones that do the hearts on it. Only the moderators will remove bad things, or if it gets held, they remove them. So, but we do read every single email and message that comes through when you guys leave comments, and we appreciate it. But when I did this, by the way, it was early morning. So we started anywhere between 4 or 5, and that was put up early in the morning. I was asleep. My fault. My bad. How are you feeling? I am in Los Piñas. Better. I had to go back on at least one dose. I went from tapering down to none and then a week without any. I told the doctor yesterday I have to have it back. I cannot do it. So I can't do it. That's just my alarm. So I officially about a week ago went back into a form of trying to go back into, what do they call that? Hello, my brain went blank. Fasting. And so I try to do a window where 5, 6 at night I stop and then I can eat. Like right now I'm just drinking the black coffee. So that way hopefully I can get some of this donut and steroid stuff off of me, but now I'm on one small dose a day because I couldn't even move. So, but thank you for asking. Much better. Still hurting, but better. Blessed right now. Hot dogs and pool parties. By the way, the apartment next door, or what I call it apartment now because everything's here called an apartment. The townhouse-like place. It's been about a month since the other neighbors moved out. We have new ones. Pray for me because it was 2 full-figure Filipinas. I'm thinking there's kids coming. And we're talking not full-figure like me. They're not fluffy and fluffy like, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man fluffy, but they seem to be donut fluffy. So these girls are probably I don't know, size large. So you got zero, extra small, small, medium, large. They're about a large to an extra large in their uniform. They both were wearing uniforms though. And so they seem to be sisters, but my guess is they're coming with kids. And they dropped that deposit yesterday. Like it was all, they weren't even here 20 minutes. And I seen him get out his book and she gave up a deposit that quick. I'm like, dang, man, they're desperate. So they should be moving in probably here in the next couple of days with about 20 kids. So I've been lucky for a couple of years to avoid a porch full of kids screaming all the time, but nothing but some earplugs won't take care of. Who's old? Oh, because I said roped off. You gonna get roped off, or oh, you talking about when I mentioned the 54? This is why I like condo living in the Philippines, because then you don't live in the Philippines world for the most part. Yeah, because usually those are what I would consider more upper crust, and for like us, the rents range from 20,000. They could be higher in this neighborhood, but most of them seem to be under that. And except for like this guy who owns the house, it's a whole compound. There's got to be 6, 7, 8 bedrooms inside of this place. And they've got some newer buildings here, and they've got a church. But right up the road, you can tell where they probably didn't spend $1,000 to put together the places. So it's almost like they squatted on a corner of the land or something. So it kind of ranges. So yes, when you get into condos, then those people usually have to have money. Unless somebody Airbnbs it out. Now that does happen a lot. So then you just got riffraffs. So don't forget about the riffraffs that can get into those too. Luke, unless you have loud ass neighbors, yeah, it never stops. I thought about the motorcycles and the dogs, and like Willie went off all night and there was nobody out there. I think it's because somebody was scooching around next door. And Filipinos, it's like, in America, we try to remember there's something going on. You do get assholes there too, but usually things go quiet after certain hours. Not here. People start at 1, 2 in the morning cooking and banging cabinets, and some are doing businesses, and you just hear the noise all over the place, karaokeing at different hours. Kind of crazy. True, but most condos are pretty quiet, at least in my experience. Most of them, yeah. But like I said, don't forget about the Airbnbs that come through. I was staying in the Paris Hilton condo in Prenke, and it was nice, but always new people coming and going. Yeah, probably Airbnbs. 5 years, George died in the stairs. Yeah, he fell down those stairs. And here comes Gio, because Gio likes my biscuits and gravy and cookie. Gio likes that cookie, even though he likes Filipinas. He likes Heidi's cookie and her lips. You sure got a pretty mouth. No way. After George falls down those stairs, I'm living alone. You trust and believe I'm just going to be watching my shows and doing me. Get me a little thing of bonbons and donuts, and I'm just going to do me. I'm going to save myself and be on the next 600-pound life or work up that weight. I'm going to make it all the way to TLC. Say, I don't know how this weight came on. Isn't that funny how they always talk about that on TLC? It's like, well, I don't know what happened. And then their plate of food literally has like 6 pieces of chicken and 7 eggs and a pound of bacon. It's like, yeah, I know how. It's foreigners like him is the reason some don't want foreigners here. That is true. They lump us all in the same basket, which they do. They most definitely do. Yeah. But I think people tend to have that mentality on everything. Just like every time somebody sees me, they just think I'm going to beat the crap out of them just due to sheer size, or that George gets picked on. And yeah, that's not the way it works. George can give as much as gives as good as it takes, or how do you say that? It just, there's always how they group people into one thing. So, well, then I guess I shouldn't say that all those that say I don't know how I gained weight and then had 3 plates of food, but if that's what you're actually eating all the time, then that's what you actually get. Me, I know it's the sugar and the steroids. I'll eat ice cream for breakfast, and then I'll eat another ice cream bar at lunch and another one for snack. There's enough calories there to gain weight. So I am a sugar monster. Oh no, Heidi, that's just bad as a potato in the exhaust. Man, that bitch pissed me off. What happened is I was in a northern state. God, I had to be under 20 something years old. And they only gave us like one parking spot. The dude took my parking spot. And he had this old broke down van. And I asked him several times. He's like, yeah, I will. And then one day he yelled at me. And right in the middle of the night, I was on the right anxiety kick and I was young. I dumped that. I put some Snickers bars in that bitch's gas tank. I was hot, man. I think I was under 22 at that time. I was pissed because I had to park way up the street. And so I was like, yeah. I was young. I felt bad about it. But I remember when he came to the door, he's like, I know what you did. And because I looked at the door and I seen it was him, right? I said, this is going to be good. And at that time I had a boyfriend and he's like, what's going on? And I said, I don't know, some guy's mad or something. I opened the door. I said, what's wrong? He goes, I know you did that. My car isn't working and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I know you did that. And I said, well, now you know what you can do and what you have to do. And I slammed the door on him. That was the end of it. He never did nothing. Cops never showed up. Said, start parking somewhere else. Hey, what's going on, Brian? Good morning. At least you know I pay attention to everything on your stream and screen, right? Thank you. Hey, Lucca, good morning. Heidi makes George happy. Make him a sandwich, right? Use my magical lips. I think G&H marked my emails as spam. I don't know. Have you been sending emails? I have to check, but we check all of them. Are you talking about through Messenger? Well, he ain't wiser for all the problems. Pardon the international pun, right? Weezer. Are the neighbors jelly filled? They might be. Condos can be just as bad unless it's high end. Well, remember, the high end can end up, I keep mentioning the Airbnbs because there are some nice ones. Like some of the rentals are $200-300 a night, depending on the area. And like really fancy condos or houses, but mostly the condos can be like 100, like 100 US is like 5,000-6,000. And you just have to check them out. But when you get into the high end ones, people are still renting those out. So that can get to be kind of crazy. Strawberry filled donuts. Yeah, that is what is going on. All right, guys. Well, I think I will wrap this up because pretty much covered on what was going on. So is it a crime to be an asshole as an expat? Well, according to the Braun guy, they did the right thing. He's just pissing off the business owner, and she has the right to be upset. But I don't know. He has been reported, and you have to be careful who you piss off in the Philippines because there is a price. There's always a price to take care of business, or that person might take care of you. But it's not a reason to back down either. So let's say like us, if people keep parking in front of our house and they block us and keep taking our spots all the time, George is nice. He'll go and park one street over. If it's just me and I get a truck or something and I start driving and I have to go and do that and I have a hard time walking, then yes, I'm going to start having a problem and barking. But you have to know where your limits are. And if, like what we already knew, there's already a market that comes around here and there's extra people that are always parking here. There is not enough parking in the Philippines. Usually there's not. So either deal with it or, like this one, the Braun guy already said he's not breaking the law. He can park wherever it's a public street. They've asked him. Evidently, he won't do it. Evidently, it's upsetting the business owner. You don't want to upset her, so she can file a complaint. If he gets enough complaints, and now that he's on this show, now he's toast. He's liable to lose everything based on pissing off enough people. She's went to a higher up. Now he could lose his place. And so I don't know if he owns it. I'm talking with her now. There's going to be a part 2. So I'll probably cover that and something else, maybe the hoarding on the next live stream. So I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, Sarah. Love you guys. And thank you guys for all your communication. And if you're not subscribed, check and make sure you're subscribed. We're pretty close to the 24,000. And I appreciate everybody being here. And he's still, Gio's still asleep over here. But love you guys and good night. This is Sarah in the U.S. Good night, everybody, and appreciate you guys being here. See you guys in a few days or maybe even tomorrow. Who knows? So next one would be Thursday, but probably sooner.